Aristotle. Born in 384 BC in ancient Greece, he was a famous philosopher. He also made great contributions to many other fields, such as ethics, politics, and science. One of Aristotle's most famous contributions to science is actually based upon a false claim. For years, Aristotle preached that heavy objects fall faster than lighter objects, stating that the speed at which something falls actually depends on its weight. He would explain it to anyone that would listen. His example was that an object 10 times heavier than another would have to fall 10 times faster. No one disagreed with Aristotle. Most people were comfortable with the idea of heavy objects falling faster because it's what they were used to seeing. For almost 2,000 years, Aristotle's rules for falling objects remained unchallenged until a new scientist attempted to prove him wrong.
Oh, you're probably wondering what I was doing. Well, that's none of your business. But what is your business is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a building famous for its improper construction. When it was built in the 1100s, part of the foundation began to sink, which is why it now leans to one side. Another reason why this building is famous has to do with the dispute between Aristotle and our next scientist.
In the year 1589, an Italian scientist named Galileo attempted to prove Aristotle wrong. Galileo believed the only reason heavy objects fall faster is because air resistance slows down lighter objects, and that if air resistance could be reduced, they would both fall at the same speed. In order to prove his point, he gathered everyone in the city, climbed to the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and explained that the only way to prove who was right for sure was to perform a scientific experiment. Galileo's experiment went like this. He stood at the top of the Leaning Tower and held out a cannonball and a wooden ball of the same size. The only difference between the two objects was their weight. Galileo explained that since they are the same size and shape, they would feel the same amount of air resistance as they fell. His conclusion was that they should hit the ground at the same time. So he leaned out over the edge, dropped both objects, and a little more than 3 seconds later, everyone in the city of Pisa saw the cannonball and the wooden ball land at the same time, proving once and for all that if there is no air resistance, all objects, no matter how heavy, will fall at the same rate.